Hi, welcome to our home. This is the Blount Family Christmas Lights home, and my name is Michelle Blount. This is the first snow village that you'll see when you come in. This is a Department 56 snow villages. I have about 5 different snow villages in the home. This is my oldest collection. I started collecting in 1994. And I basically carve all the styrofoam that you see the display made out of. I do that myself using a hot wire foam tool. And I have multi-levels on it. I've added glitter and sparkle to it just to kind of make the display pop. And each little house is pre-lit, and some of them are animated. They have moving features on it, blinking lights, and everything. After I started collecting this, I started collecting North Pole and Charlie Brown, which we'll see in the next room. So now we're going to move into our next area. That is our formal living room, where I've added Mickey Mouse, a boardwalk, and Charlie Brown. This is my Mickey Mouse collection, and I basically have established it on top of a piano and kind of made the shape out of the piano and did the multi-levels, added the Mickey Mouse ears kind of for the Disney effect, and again, each of the houses are lit. I started collecting the Disney collection about 2-3 years ago. They started, Department 56 started adding more pieces. Now we're going to move over to the World Fair. My husband is actually the crazy person about roller coasters and such, and so about 3 years ago, he had seen the roller coaster ride and wanted to add it to my collections. This is not Department 56. It's made by World Fair and a couple other different companies. Anyways, it's grown over the last couple of years to add a few Ferris wheels, teacups, and a beautiful carousel. My next collection is a Charlie Brown collection that I started collecting about 7 years ago. Really, it was just little small pieces. I didn't have many that were included in this, but my husband was such a big Charlie Brown fan that I wanted to include it in my Christmas stuff. And over the years, it's grown a little bit. It's still not a large village, but it is fun and very whimsical. This is the next area that I've decorated. There's a lot more in this room to see. I'm going to start off with this one small piece that I have over here on the right. It's just an ice castle. I originally had it set up in my North Pole area, but this year decided just to kind of make it its own little area. It was because it was very unique and special. So this is probably my biggest project that I have. I start my North Pole table here in August. It takes me almost 2 months to complete the table. I hand carve all the styrofoam, like I said in the beginning, from the baseboard to the mountains to all the different levels. Everything pretty much on the table is made from styrofoam. I paint it and glitter it. I do reuse the styrofoam from year to year. People ask if I recarve it new, and I don't. I try to keep as many pieces that I can so that I can just build onto it. This last year, I had my tree over here was started as a base from last year, and most of my base here I had already had. I added a couple extra levels, but this year I wanted to add a few more pieces, so I raised my mountains about 1.5 feet, and I created this whole upper level here with a little mountain ridge going underneath it, some LED lights behind it to kind of give it that aurora borealis effect, and then I added the upper level with Santa Claus's castle up at the top. So Santa and Mrs. Claus are up there with their little spiral staircase going to the top. Actually, my favorite part of the display is my little mountain over here that I created. Doing the streets and creating the city was kind of working inside my creativity box, but I wanted to do something unique and different this year by adding like a waterfall and a mountain. I wasn't quite sure how to do that. A young lady up in Palmdale named Nicole Mitchell helped me think outside of my box, and we created this little mountain that included a waterfall, and there's also some little penguins under the ice. Most people don't notice the penguins, but they're down under here under the ice, and we've got a little cave up on the top with some little elves roasting their little marshmallows, and I added the tunnel after the fact so that the train had something to go through, and it was a very challenging piece for me to do. With all the extra sculpting and the adding of the glitter to kind of actually make it look like a mountain, not just a stack of styrofoam. So I'm really kind of proud of this piece this year, and having added all the pieces on there, I think it came together really nicely. El Shaddai. Our next village is Whoville. This is a completely new collection for Department 56 this year, and I've always been kind of a Grinch fan. Over the last couple of years, I've snuck the Grinch into my North Pole area, and this year when they came out with the new pieces, I definitely had to come up with some type of creative way of displaying them, and this is what I created. I wanted the Grinch to have his own little cave where he's viewing himself in the mirror, and the little mountain where he's got the Santa sack and the dog on top, and just all the different little Whoville homes down below. There are 9 Grinches in total. It's kind of fun when the kids come through. They like trying to see if they can count all 9 of them and find them all. So it's kind of a Where's Waldo thing, but it's Where's the Grinch? All right, follow me to the next room of the tour. So this is the next room of our tour, where we have one of our main Christmas trees. It's not the only Christmas tree that we do have, but it is one of our bigger Christmas trees in the house, and that's fully decorated, kind of a whimsical red, white, and green theme. I kind of like the flock tree concept. You'll notice that we have a couple of them in our house, and I just like it because all of my ornaments pop on it. In the past, we've done just regular green trees or real trees, and it just seemed to lack some type of pizzazz, and so I really enjoy having the flock trees and adding the ornaments to it, and just kind of seeing the effect that it has on everybody that visits the house too. It tends to be a favorite. Another area of our house that gets a lot of attention is our kitchen. I don't think people expect it to be decorated, and it is, and they especially love the way we've added ornaments to our pot rack, and how we've decorated the tops of the cabinets as well, and our little tree here in the front of the kitchen. We've added a few of the little village pieces over here, including my daughter's creative gingerbread houses that she made this year for us, who's 4. The last part of our tour is our upside-down Christmas tree. This is my favorite part because most people don't notice when they walk in the house that we have an upside-down Christmas tree. They're really kind of busy checking out the Snow Village over here, and they tend to walk through the rest of the house. On their way out is when they really figure out that we have this amazing upside-down tree. I love this tree. It's probably my favorite thing aside from the Snow Villages in the house, simply because the ornaments just pop on it. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I love all the colors. I love the way the ornaments hang on the outside. When I saw this tree 3 years ago, I just knew I had to have it, and I sent my husband, Andrew, a picture of it, and he right away sent me a text back saying, I love it and buy it. So 3 years ago, we added a upside-down Christmas tree to our house, and it's just very whimsical. I think the ornaments pop on it, and I love the way there's lots of room for presents, and the kids tend to like that too. We're the Blount family. Thank you for taking a tour with us, and we hope to see you again next year. Merry Christmas. Bye. We get asked that question at least, I don't know, a dozen times, if not more, a night, why we do this, and we simply do it because it's kind of our way of giving back to the community. There's not a lot for people to do that's free in our community, and our giving back is being able to allow people to come and spend a little time with their family, seeing our light show outside, and then welcoming them into our house. I put a lot of work into the Snow Villages. In the beginning, I just did it. We were having a small Christmas party, and I wanted the house to look nice. And over the last couple of years, having people come in our house and telling us how it really made their Christmas special, and how they weren't having a great Christmas, and how we really just made them feel the joy of Christmas by simply having the light show outside, offering them some cider, and then letting us come into their home and enjoy what we had done with our home. It really gave us a sense of warmth and compassion for our neighbors and stuff. We got to be very good friends with many of the people in our community, and for us, it's just something for us to do, a way of giving back.
I like the Charlie Brown set. Because I like Charlie Brown. Thank you.
All the little houses, all the little turning things, all the little people and all the mountains, and it was just, I'd love to spend days looking them all over.
Grinch Stole Christmas, my favorite, absolute favorite.
That was crazy. It was really, really neat.
You know, it's an amazing feeling. We have people that come in and they're so overwhelmed by what we're doing that they cry, makes us cry. And then other people that are just so thankful and they hug us, and it's really and truly, it's hard to explain. It's just an amazing, great feeling. It's just it's a way for us to give back. It's amazing. It's a great feeling.
Oh, definitely. We've never seen anything so beautiful. You're a multi-talented and multifaceted couple. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Carl's used to over 8 doctors visiting him at Chalk in Orange, and he's been a CHLA a lot too for multiple surgeries. He has 5 therapists, so we're really busy. We've never been able to show Carl a Christmas tree at home, and this is something that is just wonderful. He can't get enough of the scene behind us. Thank you again. Merry Christmas.
I think this is one of the most spectacular things anybody in this particular area of the world has ever seen. It's quite a remarkable display of people's dedication to creating an atmosphere of love and joy, and hence peace. And I think it's emblematic of the season, and I think it would be really fantastic if more people could see this.
Howdy, I'm Andrew. Welcome to our Christmas house. Before you, we have 120,000 lights. It's 1,200 boxes of lights, all from Costco, that we've timed to music. There's 20 different songs that run. It's about 1,000 hours worth of timing to set the songs up. Folks come from all over the place, from up in Northern California all the way to Phoenix, down to the south part of San Diego, to actually see the light show that you have here. It's about 46 minutes long, and then to tour the inside of the house, which is an absolute winter wonderland that my wife sets up. We start our display in August, the actual setup of it, going through and testing the lights and then wrapping them. This tree over here to the right has about 2-mile light just on the one tree. Both of these about a mile and a quarter each. And then my wife starts on the inside of the house in August as well. We launch the lights each Thanksgiving, and then we're outside here passing out warm apple cider and cookies to anybody that wants to come by. That runs all the way through Christmas night, and then we keep our lights on through New Year's night. Everybody asks, why on earth Michelle, my wife, and I do this? Well, about 4 years ago, we lived in a different house down in San Clemente. Now, my job as a good husband was to complain about the number of boxes of Christmas things that were in the garage, and that is precisely where my job ended. So my wife set up the outside, and she did the inside. She had some big blow-up Snoopy globes and that sort of stuff. About 5 days before Christmas, she comes running into the house and very concerned. She says, there's people walking around the neighborhood and our lights are off. And so I asked her, I said, well, did you check the breaker? And she says, well, of course, dummy, I've checked the breaker. And that's a conversation that if you're married, you know isn't going anywhere. And so I walked out to the front with her, and I could see in the living room that borders the outside of the house, the electrical outlets were charred, and I could smell burnt electrical in the walls. So I walked over and I talked to her. I said, you know, sweetie, you have burnt up the electrical in our house. I said, not only are you not going to have lights tonight, but you're never going to have lights again. And she had this look on her face that if I didn't get those lights back on right now, either she was going to start crying or she was going to divorce me, one of the two. So I read a couple of chords from the back of the house, put some LEDs up. The next day, my neighbor Alex is 12. He comes over and says, hey, Andrew, I see you're putting some lights up. I said, yeah. He says, well, I'm going to put up more lights than you. And I said, Alex, I can out bankroll you with what's in my $20 I have in my pocket right now. And he and I, we had a great time at it. We went down to Home Depot, we found some lights, and we put it up. A year later, Michelle and I moved to this house, and it was different than our old one. It was a nice, wide area on a popular street. And I looked at it and said, you know, sweetie, we could do something that's neat. It was the year 2009, and it had been a tough year for a lot of folks. People lost their retirements, any sort of money. Christmases were difficult. Jobs weren't plentiful. And I said, let's do something that's fun and free for people to come by and put a smile on their face. And quite frankly, there's not a lot of free things to do in Orange County. We had the lights on and people were enjoying them. She had done the inside of the house, and it wasn't until the 16th of December that we decided to, my mother-in-law and I, we came outside and we started drinking some warm apple cider just to watch the show by ourselves. Folks kept coming by and they were standing right next to us. And so I looked around and said, well, we have some more cider inside. Maybe I should go get cider for everybody. And so we went and made a pot of cider. I started serving cider out in front of the house. And then all of a sudden I looked over at my mother-in-law and she was telling somebody about what a great job her daughter did inside of the house of decorating. And they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe the snow villages and how great they looked and all this sort of thing. And she said, well, let me just show them to you. And I'll be darned if she didn't then start asking people inside of the house, and it kind of stuck. This is the third year that we're putting it on, and the last year we toured about 50,000 people through the house. So welcome to the Blount Family Lights.